Welcome back, guys. This is the next part of the series that I'm doing right now with the Pandem wide body, and the car is still not done. I still am missing the wing. I'm actually picking that up tomorrow. I did see some comments of people complaining about the bolts being seen. Pretty much the backstory of that, the initial plan with the car was not to wrap it black. This was just like a recent decision that I've made. The plan before was to actually paint match the car and have it two-toned, on the bottom being gray and on top being white. But just to paint the body kit, if I went to a professional body shop, for example, the one I used to work at, that right there would probably run me around 25 to 3,000. And I actually ended up doing some body work in the back where I deleted the antenna and I did some body work on the quarter panel to straighten that out and stuff. I've decided to actually wrap the whole entire car instead of having to paint match the quarter panel and then the body kits and stuff like that. This decision was very cost efficient, so I decided to go with that. And I bought the hardware long before I even installed the body kit. So new hardware is coming in today. It's going to be gloss black, so the hardware will not be seen anymore. And I'm going to be swapping it out today as well. And I was also telling you guys that I was waiting on a splitter to be made, and there it is. But right now I'm going to go ahead and install this, get it bolted up, and tomorrow pick up the wing, and today install the new hardware. And the very last thing that's actually missing on the car is the panel that I was telling you about right here. I'll put up some pictures of what I've made so far. I'm trying to learn how to make CAD designs from pretty much scratch or from a template that I've 3D scanned, which that's a lot harder than making like little gears and squares and circles and stuff. I actually have to follow very tricky body lines and curves, which is very difficult in my opinion, but I'm gonna learn how to do it and get it down, and hopefully I do that way before the show so I can actually install everything and get that body panel right here wrapped. So we will see. And then as soon as I finish all of that, next step is going to be polishing up the wheels, getting them ceramic coated, and installing a little livery that I have made up, which that's probably going to be later on in this video. And I'm sure some of you might ask what splitter this is. So I'll go ahead and answer the questions right now. This is an E36 splitter. It's by DevSport, and that little badge right there I'm going to take off just because it kind of ruins the look, to be honest. And I'm sure some of you have noticed, but no one said anything. The door right here had peeling wrap, which I actually ended up taking all of the wrap off and redoing this whole entire door. And now that I did this door the proper way, it looks so much better. Pretty much the tricky part are these body lines right here. And if you heat up the wrap whenever you're putting the wrap over those body lines, the wrap will actually peel back whenever it heats up. So the correct thing that I did this time is I didn't use any heat whenever I laid them down on this body line right here. So it came out way better and cleaner. So by no means is this wrap perfect, just to get it out there. This has a lot of flaws and mistakes, but the key part is I did this myself pretty much. I didn't really pay anyone. I used my own 2 hands and a heat gun to make this happen. So I guess I gotta give props to myself for having this turn out pretty decent. But I'm sure you guys saw the previous video and how frustrated I was with the wrap, which that was just a little gist of it. And I think next time I'm gonna do any body work on this car on the outside, I think I'm just gonna paint the whole entire car. Just because I have experience with painting and prepping and stuff like that and masking. So that'll be the easier route, I guess you could say. So for this install, all I'm gonna need are drill bits, drill, and the hardware that it came with. Now the thing that kind of bothers me, I know a lot of cars will run the struts or the arms right here for the support for the splitter, but I actually hate the way those look and they completely ruin the car because a lot of people with Challengers and Honda Civics and stuff will put them on their car and completely ruin it. Initially I was hoping that the back piece right here would be much longer, so that way I can actually make some metal brackets that are going to be hidden underneath the car, so I can bolt it up to the frame back there. You can't really see because it's dark. But the splitter is not very wide, so I might see if I can come up with something to hide it from the back to go underneath the splitter, or I might just have to order the struts and put them in the front, but somehow hide them, but I'm not really sure exactly how, because this is my first time installing an actual splitter on the car. So wish me luck. But luckily the hole's already there for the splitter, so all I gotta do is just mock it up like I did in the pictures previously, mark the holes and drill them, and install the hardware, and that is pretty much all. And also I gotta decide how far forward or back I want the splitter. I want it to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. The door looks kind of silly. So let's go ahead and start drilling holes, marking everything, and we'll go from there. And as far as the actual finish, I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint it or use my scrap wrap, but we'll see. But I think for now, I'm just gonna mock it up, bolt everything down, so that way I know that's how I want it to sit, and then we'll go ahead and apply wrap and actually cut it out or paint it. We'll see what I decide to do. Okay, your boy's a little dumb. This is actually plastic that protects the splitter, so the splitter itself is black, so ignore all this stuff right here. All I gotta do is just peel this back. So I won't have to actually paint or wrap any of this, thank God. Now let's proceed with installing the splitter. So after about 30 minutes, the splitter is officially installed. Honestly, the front end is extremely aggressive and it looks a lot better. I know it's pretty dark in here, so you can't really see the details, but as soon as I put the car outside, it's really gonna be seen. There's the underside. With the hardware all mounted. Ignore the oil leaks, that's gonna be addressed very soon. In about a year, I'm gonna be doing the M104 swap, so stay tuned for that one. But as far as this, I know I mentioned earlier how I don't wanna put any struts in the front for the support, but whenever I shake the splitter, it's actually very sturdy on this bumper, so I might not put any, but if I do put some struts, I'm gonna hide them in the back and have them mounted to the radiator support to the bottom of the splitter. And earlier I did mention how a lot of you complained about the bolts being silver, and I just got the new bolts in. So here's the new hardware. Just know I spent like $250 on these bolts, so you're welcome. But let's go ahead and get these bolts on the car and let's see how the car looks. So I just installed 2 gloss black bolts, and yeah, the difference is amazing. You really can't tell now. This body kit low-key looks seamless, which I know it's not, but way better. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap out all of these to the gloss black and we will see how it looks. So this is the bracket I was talking about. I ended up bending it this way, so that way this piece can sit on the splitter and this piece can sit on the radiator support. And let me show you how it looks underneath the car. It's probably hard to see, but there's the bracket that I have bolted up on top of this bolt right here. And then this piece is going to be bolted up to the radiator support right here. I just have to drill the hole and either put a rivet in there or just do a self-tapper for now. All I gotta do is just put one over here on this side and then bolt them down. And I did move the splitter just by hand, and honestly it's pretty sturdy, but with the bracket actually bolted down, the splitter should not move at all. So let's get this finished up. So as you can see, I got 2 of the brackets on, and I am literally trying to wiggle the splitter really hard, and it's not budging at all. So I think I did a pretty good job. So I just picked up the wing from the paint shop, and for how much it wasn't too bad. The quality is fairly decent. They didn't do any body work to the wing, which did need some here and there, but this is good enough for me. So now let's go ahead and install all of this and see how it looks on the car. Yeah, it looks absolutely terrific. All I have left to do now is just put the gurney flap and the top piece right there. Yeah, I really prefer Evo 1 wing over the Evo 2 for this car. It's just way too big for the proportions of the rear bumper. So, the moment you all have been waiting for. There's the wing with the gurney flap. And of course, I can never get anything right. There always has to be some sort of issue no matter what I deal with as far as parts. And body shop kind of messed up and they didn't paint this side of the gurney flap. So I'm gonna have to call them and start bitching at them because I waited 3 weeks for this wing to be painted. So. Pretty much a whole ass Batmobile. Alright, welcome back guys. I know it's been a while, I know I haven't posted for a little bit, but after completing the livery for the car and going to GAT and coming back, I've just been extremely busy with my new car, other things in life, and a few little things that I've changed with the Mercedes. And also I apologize that I'm not outside or out in the open somewhere so I can show you everything in detail. It's really cold outside and I'm currently busy working on this thing and repairing everything that's wrong with it. But let's get back to my car. So pretty much you can see I got the livery. I got the wreath right here on the hood. That was a pain to install. Got some brands that I've installed in my car. Number 66. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but I got some strut rods right here that help with the rigidity of the wing. Just because when I'm driving, the wing will literally flap up and down. So this really helped, and the wing is stationary the whole entire time. It is a little hypocritical of me just because I said I hate those, but this actually has a purpose. So, and unfortunately I didn't get a chance to finish the flap over there on the side that I was telling you guys about. That goes right here. I still haven't finished that. I know. I've been really busy with this car ever since I bought it. I've been changing things, fixing things, and all my attention went towards this car instead of this for a very long time before getting it. But I did manage to finish the livery or decals, whatever you want to call it, before the show. And the show was a huge success. Drove this thing from St. Louis to Gatlinburg with 0 issues. We made it there and back in one piece. Seen some beautiful things, seen a lot of beautiful cars, and I've met some wonderful people. But besides the stickers and stuff, the only major thing that I've done to the car is the steering wheel. It's a MOMO Monte Carlo 350mm steering wheel. It's missing a horn button at the moment. That's because the hub that I have on there right now doesn't really work too well, so I'm gonna get an actual quality hub to go on there instead of this one. But the steering wheel itself is really comfortable. I really like it. So, but the only other issue that I have with this is the hub is not very long. The previous wheel I had before was a little more deep dish, but this one is almost flat faced. So I'm gonna have to get a hub that is either longer or get a hub with a quick release, so the steering wheel, instead of being right there, it comes out to about right here. Because my arms are like reaching way too far and it's not very comfortable, and I can't really scoop my seat any closer forward just because of my knees. Hit on this bottom bumper thing for your knees when you get in the collision. And I was having one little issue in GAT. For some reason my remote control was acting up for my airlift. For some reason it would turn on and turn off, turn on and turn off. Luckily I still had my phone connected so I can actually control my car through my phone. But whenever I came back home, I ended up getting a whole new wire and a controller. The weird thing is, it did it one more time, but after it did it, it stopped doing it, and it actually works perfectly fine right now. But besides the steering wheel and the stickers and stuff, and eventually me finishing this someday, very soon I hope, the other major thing I want to do to the car this winter is fix some of the rust that's underneath the jacking points. There's a radiator support right here in the bottom that is rotting away on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to cut that out. Either go to junkyard, find a clean one, or get some pipes and weld it up myself so the radiator can actually, be supported on that. But besides that, I'm also wanting to order some polyurethane bushings to go everywhere, in the front and the back. I'm wanting to drop the subframe in the back and redo all of that, and get some suspension components powder coated,
and maybe get some new coilovers for the front with my bags, just because I'm not a huge fan of soft riders on this in the front. I would like to have some sort of like damper adjustment like I do in the back. So, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned.